Back! That's right, we are back to Football 101. Welcome back to our show. This is, I don't know what show number this is, but welcome back to our show. We are featuring the NFC South, and this show is all about the Carolina Panthers. That's right, the Carolina Panthers. I am your host, the Beetle, former DB, former defensive back for Miami University. Yeah, I was a scout team player. I was a walk-on player at Miami University back in the day, 79 and 80. And then I was a starter in high school, at Xenia High School in Xenia, Ohio. From 74 to 75, way back in the day. Old school. Yeah, old school. Always the smallest player on the field, but bringing the pain, bringing the attitude. Because again, I'm getting questions that who's the Beetle? Well, actually, I got that nickname when I was a player at Miami University. My teammates called me nicknamed me the Beetle, and it's just stuck. So here but right now, 2024, I went off track. This is all about the Carolina Panthers, giving you my insider's approach as a former player about the Carolina Panthers. That's right. And I live here. The Beetle lives. I live in North Carolina, by the way. And by the way, I've already attended the Panthers training camp when we first arrived here back in 2007, 2008. And attended games, and actually attended a game a couple of years ago. When the Tampa Bay Bucks played the Panthers. And I was fortunate, not that day, fortunate to see Tom Brady playing with the Bucks, going against the Panthers, which the Panthers beat the Bucks during that game. But it's 2024, new regime, new coach. Again, let me give a shout out to the local reporters, Carolina Panthers on the Charlotte Vibe. I think that's Chris Jeeling, Carolina Panthers on the Charlotte Vibe. Also, a shout out to Unnecessary Bluntness Sports Talk by Aaron Duncan. Good job, Aaron Duncan, covering the training camp. Shout out to AD. And also a shout out to Carolina Panthers Huddle, the Carolina Panthers Huddle, starring Kristen Balahoni and Thomas, former linebacker for the Panthers, Thomas Davis. So thank you for showcasing and doing some interviews on the Panthers this training camp. Great insight from all of the local YouTubers and productions. Again, a special shout out to Unnecessary Bluntness, Aaron Duncan on the road, going from training camp to training camp, and doing his assessment. I seen your assessment in the after shooting the video and then setting up your show in one of the local hotels and then doing your production. Man, you really are on the road. So shout out to Unnecessary Bluntness again. And I'm just gonna let me dive deep into the Panthers. Let me just give you a feel from last year. It was a disaster last year with Bryce Young coming in as a rookie. And there's a new vibe. There is a new vibe with the Panthers. Give them credit. New vibes with the Panthers with their new head coach. With their new head coach, Dave Canales, as well as I'm not going to say anything about the owner, David Tepper, changing out the entire system again. But David Canales, young coach, with offensive coordinator Brad Izik, and then defensive coordinator Israel Evero. They had to clean house with the coaching staff. And I'm getting most of this from, again, like I said, I use Lindy Sports. Lindy Sports is outstanding, by the way. I'm going to read portions from Lindy Sports about the Panthers and give you my insight of what I've seen during training camp, the very first days of which they arrived in training camp, and I was viewing some local news reports, sports reports about the offense and defense from Coach Canals. Again, and Canals comes from spending his time under Pete Carroll in Seattle before helping revive Baker Mayfield last season in Tampa Bay. Well, let me just say, Coach, when they played, the Panthers just played the New England Patriots up in Foxborough. That first game, even though it's just a first game, you can tell they were struggling. The second and third team was just struggling that first game. They looked bad. The backups, I'm sorry, against New England looked bad. I'm just going to cut straight to the... I feel good about the influx of new players, but they lost some key players too. The key loss was their linebacker Brian Burns and Frankie Vulu. A lot of folks are not talking about Frankie Vulu, but I seen Frankie Vulu up in Washington, and Frankie Vulu is a super veteran. It's truly unfortunate they lost Frankie Vulu and their big-time linebacker Brian Burns, but they did pick up Dante Johnson, their wide receiver, to help out Bryce Young. I'm going to give a little tidbit as well at the end. I want to make sure I hit it. But let me now mention David Cannell. I think it's going to take him time. His offense didn't look that great with the second and third teamers during this first preseason game. It's going to take some time. And it's all about speeding up the delivery of and getting the ball in the hands of your playmakers. And that's where the running back attack, despite the Panthers handling a big deal to Miles Sanders in free agency last season, Chuba Hubbard finished the year. Now he has come back with a vengeance. I've seen a local report where he's determined to make himself better, and I think Chuba Hubbard will do as best as he can. And they expect Hubbard to get a lot of early downs, and then Sanders will act as a change agent. So Hubbard came in stronger. He looked more physical. He's ready to take on the demand of running more, the physicality. I like his attitude, and he'll help out Bryce Young, but he can only do so much. And of course, as wide receiver, they have Adam Thielen, of whom Bryce Young really depended upon, and then he will be able to at least have a little bit more speed, and another wide receiver, Dante Johnson, to help him out via the trade from the Steelers. And then they have Xavier Legette to give Young the help he desperately needs, as well as he was a South Carolina standout. Again, the wide receiver, the new offense is all about moving Bryce Young a little bit to the side, because he's, that's the reality is Bryce Young is a smallish type of quarterback. He's not going to change, so they got to move him right to left. He's 5'10", 204, and backing up Bryce Young is Andy Dalton, and extreme veteran. I remember Andy Dalton starting with the Cincinnati Bengals, superstar, Now he's traditional backup, and he's trying to help out Bryce Young as much as possible. And in the interviews I've seen with Bryce, he's gotten better. He's gotten better in the post interviews. His mentality right now is upbeat, which it should be. And now I'm going to give you my sense of what I've seen in the training camp, and even Dave Cannell's head coach said he hopes that Bryce Young speeds up his delivery, makes better reads. It's not all going to be a perfect situation. He needs to deliver the ball more efficiently and anticipate where the wide receiver will be, get on page much more. So he's still kind of mechanical. Let me just say, what I've seen, Bryce Young is still mechanical in his delivery. He's throwing in more confident in throwing. He's not as hesitant, but he's still got to get on page with the wide receivers. Really spend time, extra time with your wide receivers, because that's what's going to give him confidence. And they're going to do a lot of check downs, easy throws for him. The deep throws, don't worry about those. Those will come in time. But it's about the immediate smaller throws, and that's the reason why Thielen was so effective last year. Thielen would only run 5 yards, 6 yards, down and out, down across the middle, and that's how he got his yardage. Okay, they're going to do the same thing, but roll Young out right and left, and have a lot more, hopefully more speed on the outside. But what I've seen thus far in camp, they still need to pick it up much more. And the offensive line, let me say the Panthers, they said, spent big money to rework the interior line, bringing in Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis at guard, with plans to move former right guard Austin Corbett to center in the hopes that it can create both time and passing lanes for Bryce Young to throw. Now, their backups in the offensive line look really bad against the Patriots defensive line, really bad. So they got to shore up that offensive line, because Bryce Young will be mincemeat when the season starts. That offensive line is crucial for Bryce Young. So I feel the pain. I know, and the thing is, Bryce Young's eyes, they get bigger and bigger when he knows he's not going to have much time in the pocket. That's the reason why they're rolling him left and right and get that ball out of your hands as much as possible. So I didn't see much consistency in their offense. I didn't see no uniqueness of their offense. It's pretty vanilla right now. I was a bit disappointed in the first game with backups. Very disappointed, and the lack of attitude. Again, they just need to come home and get some home cooking in Charlotte to help their spirits, because they didn't look good. Didn't look good. So anyway, as for the defensive line, Derek Brown coming off a fresh extension that made him one of the highest paid interior linemen in the league. But again, their linebackers, they lost key linebackers. Let me just say also, they picked up in the offseason, and I just saw him, Jadeveon Clowney. Jadeveon Clowney will be bringing the pain. Jadeveon Clowney is still this veteran defensive end, will bring the pain. When he's ready to play, he brings it. So that was a great pickup. Jadeveon Clowney, he will make an impact on that front line. And they have the defensive lineman who is interior, I think it's Derek Brown. They are two superstars. If they're on the same side, they're going to create havoc. So I really like that tandem. Derek Brown and Jadeveon Clowney, they're going to be right up there putting solid pressure. So great job in bringing in Jadeveon Clowney. Their linebackers, they need help in the linebacking core. They need an edge rusher. They need, again, on the inside, stalwart is Shaq Thompson will lead the group. Yes, 10-year veteran Shaq Thompson, but Shaq Thompson can't do everything. He's one of the best seasons in 2022, 135 tackles, and is hoping to get back to that level after missing almost all of last season with an ankle injury. So Shaq Thompson will be dependent upon this year. And then the secondary, I saw J.C. Horn, veteran. He missed 29 of the possible 51 games since coming to Carolina. But J.C. Horn, coming from, I believe, from the Saints, veteran leader in the defensive backfield. He will do outstanding. And then I see where they said, earlier, they still need help in the defensive backfield. So that's not going to happen, what I see there. They have Xavier Woods and Lamar Jackson in the defensive backfield. They're scrappy, but they'll need help back there. As for the special teams, Eddie Pinera had 2 game winners last season and his 3rd all-time in field goals. Here's where the intangibles for the Panthers, the cloud hanging over the Panthers, is David Tepper, who has spent his tenure as owner in football operations. Can Dave Canals break this streak of bad hires? But on the hot seat, without a doubt, in his 2nd year, is number 1 pick, Bryce Young. What I'm going to say about Bryce Young, because the Beetle got on him last year, and I'm going to back off on him, but I just think he needs to maintain his much more positive attitude. He needs to grow up to be more of a seasoned veteran. In year 2, yes, in year 2, it's expected of the number 1 pick to be a veteran by year 2. No more protecting Bryce Young. No more saying, think about the possibility. No, it's time to step up. He's doing the right things. I saw him in a preseason game, giving dap to the players coming off the field. He said he gives the right sound bite, but the emotion, and look at Bryce Young's eyes. Does he really want to be out there? That's my question mark as a former player. Because as a former player, and particularly as a defensive player, you look at the guys, you look at their eyes, particularly the quarterback. Do they want to be out there when it gets tough, when it gets physical? And again, since Bryce Young is a smaller quarterback, recognizing that he's not going to have much time to throw the ball, and he's going to get hit. He was fortunate he really didn't get hit that much last year, as much. But the pain is coming, so can he step up and take the leadership to another level? And yes, it is time. They changed out, brought a new coach, new offense, getting rid of players, offensive line. So, yes, other additions. Center Robert Hunt, guard Damian Lewis, as I said. Again, they're trying to beef up the protection. And again, what I've seen thus far this season has been, they looked a little worried. And that's what I'm concerned about for the Panthers. Look very, very worried. And Canals, he says the right things too. Nice coach speech. Coach speech. But it's about delivering, even in your first year. So on the hot seat again is Bryce Young. And I hope he has more of a supportive mentors around him when things go haywire. Now let me just go through their season right now. This is their schedule for 2024, and I'm going to give you. Before I do that, a shout out to Julius Peppers, former Carolina Panther, being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Yes, Julius Peppers, defensive end, outstanding superstar defensive end for the Carolina Panthers and Chicago Bears, in the Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Julius Peppers. And I remember seeing him play. He brought that physicality. He was fluid. He was strong. But he got around that edge and got so many sacks. That's what they're missing in Carolina now. That physicality. Keep pounding. Okay, I know that's the signature. Keep pounding. I never bought into that keep pounding. I'm sorry. Been to the Super Bowl one time. Move on from the keep pounding. That's my only gripe with the Panthers. Stop the keep pounding. Score points. They have that. Score points. Win games. Win games. That should be the logo. Win games, not keep pounding. Win games. You don't have enough personnel to keep pounding. The Panthers are not physical as the era of keep pounding. Get rid of that. That's my big gripe. Win games. Hashtag win games. Hashtag win games for the Panthers. So here's their schedule. Now check out this schedule for the Panthers. Starting off with on the road to New Orleans. Then they host the Chargers. Hey. Then they go on the road to Vegas. Then they host Bengals. Then they go on the road to Chicago. Then they host Atlanta, the Falcons. Then they go on the road to Washington. Then they go on the road to Denver. Then they host New Orleans. Then they go to Munich to go against the Giants. Then they host the Kansas City Chiefs. Then they host Tampa Bay. Then they go on the road to Philly. Then they host Dallas. Then they host Arizona. Yay! And then they go on the road to Tampa. And then they finish out in Atlanta. So I have their schedule. My prediction, the best that I could do. The best that I could do. I tried my best. 1-16. That's what I kid you not. 1 win, 16 losses. Because what I've seen at the other teams, they have improved tremendously. The Panthers have a very tough schedule. So, unfortunately, I see them with a losing record. Not as good as last year, the 2-15. This year, 1-16. If this happens this year to the Panthers, it's going to be chaotic. The best that I can do, again, the Beetle can do, in my prediction, and seriously, I hope I am wrong. This is one thing, this is one team I hope that I'm seriously way off. I hope I'm really things are just dramatically different. But right now in August, what I've seen in preseason number 1, seen in training camp, and taking everything all in, I see their season 1-16. There you go. That's the best I can do. This is the Beetle. This is Football 101. I'm just bringing it. And yes, I have to tell it like it is, even when I live in the same state as the Panthers. That's just the way it is in the NFL. So let's keep on #win games. #win games. This is the Beetle. This is Football 101. Let's do this.